YT coming
I'm
shortly.
waiting for you, Jay, on the Instagram.
It says requested, so maybe it just says taking a. There's a lag.
Okay,
Small flower and where's Apothecary Facebooks are going live.
cool. All right, here we go. Jay, how you doing today?
I'm good. Instagram does not seem to be letting me join your chat. It says I requested, but that's it.
It says I'm waiting for you.
Hilarious. This is how things work. I'm gonna
Let's
try
try
it
one more time.
again.
I'm going to cancel you. Try join. Hang in there, everybody. Here we go. View this. Let's go live, Jay. It says I'm waiting.
Yeah, we're
Connecting.
good to
There we
go.
go. All right. JQ, it's Friday.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing great. Doing great. We're drinking some tea as usual. And today, we've been on the herbal tip this whole week, pretty much. I mean, we've mixed a few other things in there, but I feel like I'm loving the fact that we've been drinking a lot of non-tea tea. And by that, I mean not the Camellia sinensis plant or whatever it is, but
Yeah, a lot of
actual.
people don't realize that there's only one tea. Tea, they're like, oh, I want black tea or green tea. You're like, that's just when it's picked. There is only one plant called tea. And
But there
yes,
are there are
you can
varieties
make
of that plant.
a tea-like infusion of many kinds of plants, but essentially there's only one thing called tea. But we like to call tea anything you stick in hot water and then drink, right?
Correct. I mean, and that makes sense, right?
Yeah. So herbal teas, kind of an oxymoron of a phrase, but wow, this is good though. Is that
Yeah.
a
Have you tried it before?
uh-uh?
Oh yeah. Okay. So here's what we're drinking. We're drinking triple lemon, um, which is from Four Elements Herbals. I think I've talked about them before. Based in Wisconsin.
I think last Friday we did their minus sinus.
Yeah. And I mentioned it last week, and we were like, we should try this. It's so good. So the reason it's called triple lemon is it has lemongrass, lemon balm, and lemon verbena, and then they round that out with some oats and oat straw to kind of give it some balance.
It really does like give it sort of a it like rounds out all that citrusy stuff and gives it a nice I don't know how else to describe it, but like that oatmeal-y kind of flavor that's nice, you know?
Yeah, a little bit more full-bodied flavor rather than kind of the I don't know. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's good. So let's say a shout out. Hey, Malia, we got you drinking some Golden Assam. Deb shared an awesome, looks like how to make the best cold brew iced tea. That sounds great. And Deb is shopping on the website for facials. It's Facial Friday, so facials and masks. Um, yeah, cool. We have a bunch of good things in that realm. And Mary Josephine is sipping on chocolate mint tea. Wow, and
Mm.
Mose man, Anthony Mosley just joined us. What's up, Mose? Um, you have some tea? Are you drinking some tea? If not, grab some and join us, please. Anyway, Jay, speak to me about some of the herbs in triple lemon before I go off on tangents.
Well, I think they're like, what they're going for here is a calming tea,
Yeah,
right? Like, so we all know this Avena sativa, this oatmeal, oat straw is calming. We see it in baths all the time, right?
yeah,
We also know you and I talk about lemon balm all the time as our everyday calming herb.
yeah.
Um,
So good.
and unsurprisingly, lemongrass, while it has a ton of different uses,
Yeah,
number one on that list is anxiety relief. And for lemon verbena, you'll see like detox and immunity stuff. People actually use this in like slimming tea. Uh, combinations, so you'll
Yeah.
often see it in there. But like right up in there is also stress reducing stress and sleep aid and promoting digestion. Further kind of connecting what we were talking about, Dad always says is like relieve your stress, you relieve your digestion, you relieve your stress. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why you take nerve tea and stomach tea together, right?
Yeah. Totally.
For a stomach problem and for a nerve problem, right?
Yeah.
Like both. Yeah.
Well, I always think about the way that they talk about it, right? Like that the most connections in your nervous system are from your gut to your brain.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's important that you stress the direction there. Yeah.
Going from gut to the brain.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. In
It's
fact,
it's
there's like
it's not the
something
brain telling the gut what to do. It's the gut telling the brain what to do.
so much so, so
So
much
cool.
so that the amount of connections is, I forget the multiplier, but it's like 8 times as many pathways going from the gut to the, and that was like off the top. That's not true, but like
Yeah.
it's probably more than that. I
Yeah, I
think,
think it's way more than that.
yeah, yeah. I
Something
think
like,
it's
but either way, it's fun to think about the idea
even
of
if it was twice as much, that would be hilarious in itself. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. So yeah,
But this tea is lovely. It immediately, even the scent itself is like just such a calming. It keeps it from going like the Avena in there keeps it from going like bright and buzzy.
astringent,
Yeah, it's not
astringent. Yeah,
it's not buzzy and it's not bright. It's like it's a very soft
it's
and very
rounded for
rounded
something which has
tea.
a lemon flavor.
Mm.
You know, like the opposite would be, which is a good tea, but like the tea that made lemon famous is lemon zinger,
Zinger,
right?
yeah,
Which
exactly.
is
Yeah.
like the zing is what you're talking about. This is lemon without the zing.
Yeah, it's like they removed this. It's Zingahall free, and
Yeah.
it's got this like, but yet it like despite like it's not buzzing the sides of my tongue like the acid, but I'm still getting this like with the warmth and like the
Yeah.
sort of calmness. I'm getting like a little like maybe this sounds silly, but I'm getting like a little like sunniness from the lemon, like
Oh
feeling
yeah, absolutely.
feels like sunny and kind of wonderful in the cup of tea.
I agree 100%. Just what up to mom and pops? I see they joined. Aliki's drinking detox tea. That's awesome. Um, Pop said in homeopathy, oat straw avena is used to rebuild the body after a stressful situation. That's avena sativa.
Hmm.
Deb Miller's talking about loving ginger and lemon. Absolutely, they both of those are zingy but restorative. I think.
And both of those are in Cora Portlanger's immunity soup. You know.
Nice. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And Isabella, nice to see you. Anyway, um, yeah, I think that's the first time I had this. I had this overwhelming feeling, that sunny positivity that you're talking about. It's not a jolt. It's like a deep breath. Does that make?
mm,
Do you agree?
mhm.
It doesn't have that feeling. It's like I know they talk about this as a calming tea, but I feel like it's a very optimistic tea. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it that like it's it's kind of new to me in that way. I haven't had one that's like this is a like this is a
Yeah.
complex. It's kind of a complex tea. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, it's not like it doesn't taste complex. Like, I don't know what I'm tasting. I'm confused by it. I'm saying the feelings from it are like calming and positive. I'm feeling really good about this
Yeah,
cup of
I
tea
know,
right
I
now.
know. Well, I want to read this out of the packaging because I think that they do a pretty good job. So here's the package. Uh, there's the people who create the tea, but it says basically triple lemon. This is the perfect beverage for a restorative pause. 3 lemon herbs, lemon balm, lemon verbena, and lemongrass are blended with oat straw for a delicious, nourishing, and calming experience. Enjoy, nourish, calm. And that's kind of how it feels. That nourishing, I think, is what you're talking about. Feeling like it's not just rest, it's like rest and kind of rebuild, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
lovely. It's lovely. What else is on your mind, pal?
Well, first of all, I want to say congrats to you and thank you to anyone who helped. But Buggin your kids album, Q Brothers Kids album, is number 7 on the iTunes charts last time I looked.
Yeah, it was last time I looked too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's great.
that's a big deal, man.
I know we're trying to, we knocked Daniel Tiger down to number 8, and we're shooting for Space Jam soundtrack next.
Nice.
Apparently, because of the Michael Jordan documentary, I'm sure people like have been going back to
Oh
that stuff.
yeah, yeah.
But like it's filled with R. Kelly and stuff, so like I think people are like, "Wait, should we be using this album? I don't. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
I thought he got canceled."
yeah.
So that's kind of
I'll
funny.
let other people sort that out.
Yeah, I know, but I just thought it was funny because we also watched Space Jam the other night. It was JJ and Cora's like one of their first live action movies. They don't they don't get as into live action movies, so
They're young, yeah.
I'm trying to like Roger Rabbit, Space Jam, like ones that are hybrid ones, so they can get kind of into it. Weirdly, they're into lately,
What?
like old school animation. Like, have you seen The Point?
The point.
It's like an old 1971 movie by Ringo Starr.
Nice. No, I have not.
Ringo Starr is like the main character, and the maker of the whole thing was Harry Nilsson, who did "You Put the Lime in the Coconut, you drink 'em both up, you put the lime." Remember that guy?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Harry, and he was like an incredible singer songwriter and artist in many different media. But The Point is such a cool throwback film for kids if anyone's looking for one out there. And my kids watched it last week, and they were as riveted with that as they were with Lego Movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. You know, speaking of old school, do you remember the Tex Avery cartoons, like The House of Tomorrow? Do you remember those? Like that's like my number 1 cartoon, and I feel like all kids should see that. They were sort of like old school cartoons in the era of modernism. They were kind of showing like how we're going to live in the future, like, and they're at the same time super dated and kind of making fun of technology. I'm going to try and find it because I think that they get taken down from YouTube, but they are so good. They're so good.
Cool.
You got to show them to your kids because they're really funny.
Yeah. So anyway, after that, we're trying to knock Space Jam out, and then we're trying to knock Baby Shark out. And if we can knock Baby Shark out, we'd be doing a service to parents everywhere, I think.
Yes, you would. You would. Um,
So thank you for everyone who purchased it.
yeah,
And appreciate
congrats
it.
on that. So that's good news. I want to cover a couple other good news, pieces of good news. But first of all, our mom wrote, oat straw is great during menopause to diminish emotional uproar and improve circulatory function. Awesome. Deb Miller loves The Point. So you've got some traction there, Jay. Uh, so another thing I want to cover. I know there's a million masks out there, but I want to give a shout out to Sarah on our team for this really nice adjustable ear strap, like the size. She made slip knots so it can make it bigger because I have a big head, big ears, whatever. Every mask I've tried, I feel like it's pulling my ears down. These ones are adjustable, and you slide in a wire inside of it. But look at this fabric. Isn't it cool?
Yeah.
She has the coolest fabric. Anyway, she has the coolest fabric. So I've been seeing all these great masks around there, and she gave one to everyone on our team. She is selling her masks, and I think Greta's going to post where she sells them. It's on a public Facebook page. But in case you want a really beautiful fabric mask, that is like one of the nicest ones I've tried. I think that would be, I want to shout that out.
Cool.
Good Friday purchase. So thank you, Sarah. It's great. Another thing that I've been thinking about, Friday news, Friday good news. I wanted to talk about, we're heading into the weekend, movies, Jay.
Oh,
Good
that's funny. We
movies.
already started talking about movies.
Yeah, so we already started. It was a good segue. You started talking about movies, so I want to hear from people, and shout out your own movies. What should I watch this weekend? And I will preface this by saying I'm going to throw in some movie stuff, but it's hard to get me to watch a movie. I like movies a lot, but I find two things. The time commitment of a movie always feels, it's stupid because it's not as if I don't waste time on other things. But it feels like a big commitment to me to be like, for 2 hours.
Look, when you're beginning it, it feels like a big commitment, like anything,
Yeah,
right?
and then I'm always happy when I did it. But the other part is, especially now, I find myself getting too emotional. Like it's like too much emotion for me to handle to watch a good movie. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's personally. That said, whenever I do it, I'm always happy that I did. And I think I'm going to watch a movie with my family this weekend. So I want to hear your tips. Oh, and I should say, I want to start out with a silly movie, not a family movie, but seems kind of, I've been thinking about it. It's such a good movie that they named a day of the week after it, and that's Friday, right?
Friday. You ain't
Yeah,
got no job. You
yeah,
ain't got to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies. And I don't know how it ages after the 90s, but in the 90s, I spent a lot of time watching that movie.
Yeah, it ages.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
say that about it.
yeah.
It ages. Um, nice. Thank you.
What are you saying?
Alicia Starr. Hey guys, glad to see you and wanted to sincerely thank you for the great smelling sprays. Kids and I opened them at high tea yesterday.
Nice.
She won our fragrance
Nice. She was one of the
giveaway.
people who won the giveaway items.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alicia. Thanks for tuning in again. So glad you enjoyed it. And yeah, check Sarah's mask if you're looking for one. That's great. I really like it. That's not a, if it wasn't a good mask, I wouldn't have mentioned it. So I did it not to help my team, my colleague, as much as to just promote something great. But I'm sure she will be thankful as well. And she's in the neighborhood if you're a Lincoln Square, Chicago local.
We like we started watching because we were just kind of like I needed to like not be on the computer and stuff at night, but like wanted to veg out a little bit. So we started watching the show recently, the one that you recommended, Atypical.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Isn't it good?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty yeah, it's good. It's funny and it's like really touching. I don't know, it's a good balance for me right now.
I feel the same way. I've recommended to a few people, like Rachel's mom is watching it, and she's like, everyone's sort of, it's tugging the heartstrings in the right way while also not feeling like sappy or melodramatic. It's like, it's funny, it's
Yeah,
irreverent.
it's not like This Is Us, right? Like where you see like the commercials on TV where you're like a very special episode.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't
yeah,
go. I'm gonna love you forever. You know, it's not one
yeah,
of
yeah,
those.
yeah. It's
Um,
not sappy. It's not sappy.
no, it's like quirkier than that, but without being like Juno cutesy, if that makes sense. Like it's not trying too hard. It's
Yeah.
like it's just kind of like authentic as how I really like it, I really like I thought it was cute. Um
We're in season 3, which is the final season, and I have to
oh
say,
really?
it's really good. If you're in season 1, I actually missed season 1 because my family started without me while I was busy with this whole shifting the business and the pandemic stuff. So I want to go back and watch those, but I've watched season 2 and we're watching season 3. So
uh,
um,
both the kids are so good in it.
yeah, yeah, I
I mean,
agree.
what talented young people in this,
Yeah.
like I don't know. Anyway, I love that and I'm a big like
If you're just joining us, we're talking movies, TV shows. We're talking about Atypical as a show that I'm enjoying. My kids are old enough that we're enjoying it as a family.
I would
Um,
imagine with kids your age, they're actually close to that age of those kids. So like it could be like a nice opening for a conversation for you to have like a real dialogue with your kids afterwards if something relates, which is kind of
oh,
cool.
totally. I mean, because you're covering high school topics,
Yeah. Yeah.
drugs, sex, all that stuff. So it's interesting. My kids are about 3 years younger than the kids in it, so they're 18 and 15, and my kids are 15 and 12. So um, yeah. I forgot a werewolf movie. Alicia's saying on the hunt for a quality werewolf movie, considering the full flower moon. Um, I'm no help with new movies, but I will say Buffy the Vampire Slayer is not where it has a werewolf in it, but that is also
You're talking about the
throwback.
original one with Christy Swanson and Pee Wee Herman?
Yeah, I'm talking about the movie, not the
Yeah, yeah,
TV
yeah,
show.
yeah.
It's so good,
It's
right?
real. It's a great movie.
That's a
Yeah,
classic movie.
I agree.
What's up, John? What's up, Therese? Thanks for joining us.
Right now,
Um,
I'm feeling like I feel that but I also I'm feeling like I need some comedy in my life. So right now, I'm like go back and rock some Teen Wolf right now. That's what
yeah.
I do.
Well, I would describe Buffy the Vampire Slayer as pretty comedy.
No,
It's
no, I'm saying as opposed to like a werewolf movie.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But there's a
yeah,
lot of good werewolf movies.
yeah. I don't know any of them, but I'm going to be no help there. I think Mary Justine saying she likes The Voice and America's Got Talent. Never really watched much America's Got Talent, but The Voice this year I did watch because Katie Caden was on it, and she's in a band with my friend, or was before she became uh, super celebrity. I don't know if she still is, but Bob Zagata's band. She is in their band, and we've known Katie for years, and she is just an awesome person, but also one of my favorite voices to ever listen to sing. She
Oh,
has an enormous voice,
yeah.
and I could cry right now thinking about her voice. I
You know,
get such a great emotional voice.
those songs where you're where you judge like a singer by like she
Mhm.
does those like the Cranberries,
Yeah, yeah,
and you're like that is the best I've ever heard that
yeah,
song.
yeah.
It's
I
amazing.
mean, I've heard her sing Led Zeppelin in person, and like, how who does justice to Led Zeppelin singing in person? No one ever except Katie Caden.
She does,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So unbelievable. I'm a big, big fan. So this was the year for me to catch The Voice.
What's up, John? Good to see you again.
Yeah. Hey, so I have a. This is maybe touches on a few movies, but also gets into something else that I've been thinking about, and that is, are you a Michael Lewis fan? The wrote Liar's Poker, Moneyball, a number, the what is it,
The Big Short.
The Big Short. Have you read
Yeah,
any of his books?
I've seen Moneyball and The Big Short.
So I those movies are excellent, right? He's a great writer, and I will just say this: that today I was listening to him on a podcast as a guest on Tim Ferriss's podcast while I was getting ready in the morning, and he is also an excellent, he's just like a guy with wisdom who is such a joy to listen to.
Cool.
And there's something that he said that struck me as very useful. So we'll come back to movies, but I was thinking, well, most people have seen a movie of his. He talked about, someone described him as being the happiest person they know. And he was saying some of it is dumb luck of like, that's the kind of person I am. But another reason is that he realized that somewhere along the way in his childhood that someone described him that, and he's like, am I happy? And he's like, I guess I am. And he's like, if you're happy, you don't really know it, and so it's easy to become unhappy. But he talked today about,
He never claps his hands then, because if you're happy and you know it, you clap your
yeah,
hands.
yeah. That's one way to tell. If you find yourself doing this, you must be happy.
Yeah, yeah. That's
um
a special kind of person actually knows it.
yeah. But one thing he
My
said, which I wanted to get to, was,
Amina knows it.
yeah, well, she is definitely happy. um but he talked about being happy. So much of it is maybe about the stories that we tell about ourselves and the way we frame ourselves in our stories about what we do. So he's like, I realized I am happy probably, but I really want to be happy. So I started thinking about myself and all the stories I would think about myself in my like past events as like, man, I'm a happy guy. And he's like, I sort of willed it into existence from when I was a teenager till he's in his 50s, I think, that I am the happiest guy I know and I'm always happy. And he's like, that self narrative determines so much about you. So he's like, I also think I made it come true. And I just thought about that in terms of like, how true is that? I know
Well,
it's true.
I've used this example before, but people out there probably haven't heard it yet. But you know, we have this back cream at the store, Kit de Salva, right? And in the WebMD, on WebMD, there's a study of back pain, right?
Mhm.
Um, it's it's a small study, but it was like pretty significant. Like the numbers were impressive,
I want to
right?
say it was like 80 some percent reduction in back
I
pain.
want to
People
say it was
use,
like 90 something.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, nice, yeah.
And so like it was small, but it was a double blind placebo controlled,
Yeah, it's a clinical trial. Yeah.
yeah, and the people who got the kit to salve, the comfrey back cream, which we have, by the way,
Yeah.
Greta can link it. I'm not telling the story for that reason, honestly. The the
Yeah.
the back cream was like 90, let's say 90% better with relief from the back cream,
Yeah.
but the people who got just a cream with no substance in
Yeah.
it,
Like just like white petrolatum.
yeah,
Yeah.
was like 30 some percent better, right?
Yeah.
And so you're like, wow, that those numbers are really impressive for that back cream. And I'm like, the more impressive number to me is that a third of how you feel is just believing that you're gonna feel better.
At least.
At least, and I feel like that's conservative.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Mary Josephine, you're right. We give what we give attention to grows, and that I think is the exact point. Is that um, I believe that, and I won't lie. Sometimes I get caught up in some of the bad stuff, but
Well, because what you give attention to grows.
yeah,
Right, like that's true. And so if you're a this is what your Rachel's always talking about with mind over back pain, is like your obsession over it will make it worse for sure, you know
yeah,
what I mean? And then yet how do you not be obsessed when you're in pain? Right, like
that's one of the hardest things. I mean,
it's
when
like
you're talking about physical pain, it actually
mm.
is.
So it sounds like this guy is good at breaking breaking the cycle before it begins. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
maybe like that's a
Well, that's
thing
it.
we
We
can
should
all
give a
take
shout
from.
out to that book too, "Healing Back Pain" by Sarno, Sarno. That has helped so many people that I know. And essentially, I'm not giving it away. You read the book. The book is read this book, and your back pain will be gone by the time you're done. And the nature of the book is that essentially it all goes back to something in your head or your emotional life or past, but you don't need to get to the bottom of it. It's not like, oh, you need to figure it out and find out that it was your mom who scolded you one time when you were doing something, whatever. It's just the hearing that and realizing that lets you start to tell a new story, and the pain goes away. And so Rachel's having some back pain recently, and I was like, you should just read that book again. It's been like 10 years. And she's like, but I know it now. So what can I do? And I was like, it's not that you know it, like you've
It's the
always known it.
practice. Yeah, yeah.
It's the actually reading it re
Reprograms you. Yeah.
reprograms you.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to with books like that, like you have to do that again. It's
Yeah.
not there as a thing that you amass the knowledge and move on. It's a practice, right?
Yeah.
You
No,
know.
absolutely. It's a practice like meditation, which Mary Josephine shout out. But I agree. And I want to say, I think I lost the train of thought, but I was going to say, just this idea. That's what it was. I haven't been drinking alcohol at all, any alcohol in 2020. And part of it was I read a book that was similar to the healing back pain while I was having a cold. I was like, somehow, the algorithm of Amazon or
Did you
whatever
did you
recommend.
read did you read which one did you read?
Um,
Was it the guy who wrote the smoking book?
nope. I'm so embarrassed that I don't know it. We didn't intend to talk about this. I will tell you in 1 second. It's something
Don't worry
about
about it.
your
Just tell
mind.
me. Okay.
Um,
Tell me the story you were going to tell me. I thought you might just know it off the top.
this naked mind. That's what it is. And it wasn't like I was like, oh God, I'm a mess. I need to do it. Although, and I won't say I've never felt like that. But I was reading it, and she kind of says like, hey, read this book. And you know what? Even if you think you want to stop drinking, don't start this book and stop drinking. Just do what you want to do. And just read this book. And I read it, and over the course of a week or so, and by the end, I was like, I think I'm done. And I haven't had really any since. And I don't know that will be forever. I'm not sure. I don't bring it up for that. And I'm not trying to say like, oh, aren't I great? I don't care if people drink. There's a lot of fun things about it, and it's great. But I'm more talking about it just to say, for me, it wasn't always great. And on top of that, it reprogrammed me, even though I knew what it was doing. Do you know what I mean? Like I read it, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go down this hole, and I reprogrammed my mind on it. So something to think about.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm TQ. It's my brother JQ. If you just joined us, we're drinking some tea. We're
We're
drinking.
drinking triple lemon tea from Four Elements, a certified organic. We are drinking bags today, which we usually drink loose tea, but it's nice to just throw a bag in a cup sometimes and go, and not have to deal with like cleaning out a little filter and blah blah blah.
Yeah. And you know, one of the benefits of bag tea, and I learned it while I was getting this downstairs and getting ready to do the video,
You can bring it with you.
that no, but the bigger benefit is you can walk around and share it with people and very easily. So I walked around with a bag. I was like, "Would you like a plastic, the container?" I was like, "Would you like a bag of tea?" And everyone in the whole store was like, "Yeah, yeah, I do." On the packing line, the receiving line, customer service, everywhere, everyone's like, "That's a great idea." So one thing I would say is don't underestimate. Some of us here, we drink tea and we know it's great. A lot of people don't drink tea, but they're like, "That's a." So like there's a dude in receiving who I'm pretty sure doesn't drink a lot of tea. It was like, not the typical tea drinker
Yeah, but it's
stereotype.
like, but like when somebody's like, "Yeah, hey, you want one?" I'm the same way until we
Yeah,
started doing
yeah.
it. Like,
Like, hey,
I'll take one if someone's making one for me, but I don't like go out of my way to make it, unless
yeah,
I'm
totally,
dealing with a certain health issue,
yeah.
So
But
for
so
pleasure, what a lovely thing for pleasure. Um,
and I
and
have a tea filter, a strainer, so to me it's no big deal. But I realized, there's taking with you, throwing them in your bag, and wherever you are, hot water is usually available somewhere. There's just go around and give tea away to people in a bag and say, "Hey, I love this. You should try it sometime." People love it. What a gift!
I
Costs
know,
next to nothing to give that gift to
yeah,
people.
I know it's
You
nice.
know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Especially a tea like this, that's like, as we were saying, calming yet sunny, right?
absolutely.
It's like the perfect way to describe this. Mom is saying there's a good documentary right now called Heal that shows how we have more control over our health and life than we are taught to believe. Cool.
Cool.
I'm gonna check that out. Yeah, this tea is awesome, John. We are
Yeah,
like,
John, ask Jesse to come by and see me, and I'll send a bag or two home for you. Yeah, and yeah, let's get back to a few movies since we said we were going to talk about that, and then we basically talked about TV shows and went into a long rant about not rant but tangent about.
I know.
Uh,
I'm actually going to bring up another TV show. I don't have time for movies right now because I have just children, and by the time they go to bed, it's like I can't like
I
begin a
know.
whole movie.
Yeah, I know
But
you.
I will tell you, I am like somebody was talking about America's Got Talent and The Voice. Like, I'm not usually into like reality TV or like
Competition
competition
shows.
shows, but I'm telling you, and T,
I,
trust me
I
on
think
this
I know
one.
what you're going to say, and I've watched it.
Lego Master
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
is fabulous. And the
yeah.
whole thing is like Will Arnett, who's hilarious, is like is like it's like he's doing like a weird meta take on being a host. So there's this whole
I
element
know.
of like there's this whole like sort of I'll call it a subplot of him like trying to be a good host but failing constantly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
And
know.
like and being like so out of place. Do you remember Mel Brooks like Robin Hood Men in Tights? You remember that
I
movie?
do remember it. Yeah.
And you remember like Carrie Ellis is perfect and they have all these and he was saying Mel Brooks was saying when I was thinking who would be the worst person to cast, it was like that comedian what's his name? Lewis, I think is his last
Richard
name.
Lewis.
Richard Lewis, the
Yeah,
Boku, the guy with the Boku,
yeah,
he
yeah,
did Boku commercials.
yeah.
She was, he was like, he would be the absolute worst person to cast as the prince or the king, and he's like, and that's why I picked him. And
Yeah.
this feels like that's what they did with him.
I know.
It's
I
so
watched the show. It's good.
it's
Uh,
so good. I mean,
it is really
but
good.
even just from an arts level, like the creation, I feel like people who are into architecture, people who are into art, people who are into Lego, and people who are into reality shows, all could like overlap on this one show, right? And comedy. I feel like it's like
Yeah.
kind of all got it all for me.
My kids like it. Nola loves it, because she's such a maker.
Yeah.
And they are fans of Arrested Development, which is hilarious, is a hilarious show. But they're like, it's Job from Arrested Development. They love
Oh,
it.
that's funny. My
Yeah,
kids are like, he sounds like Batman in the
yeah,
Lego
yeah,
movies.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Devin Miller's talking about Hello Down There, cringeworthy film. Again, it's funny that I said we should talk about movies since I don't know any movies and don't really have. I'm sorry, Deb. I will put it on my list for sure. What else? We've watched a few movies lately.
Hello
Uh,
Down There is an old movie. I didn't know this. I want to check it out.
yeah.
Awesome. That looks dope. 1969. Anyway,
I've been in an old movie frame of mind lately.
if anyone is looking for like my number one movie of all time that most people have not seen,
Yeah.
there are two, but the one that I think is better for most people. I'll start with the other one. Network is like 19.
Network is a fantastic movie.
It's so
Many people consider that to be a masterpiece.
it is a total masterpiece. And then the other one, my favorite movie is like it's so fun to watch, and I feel like it did what True Romance and the Tarantino films, the lighter Tarantino films, did before Tarantino was like
What's that?
is Charade.
Hmm.
And so it's Cary Grant and Audrey Hepburn, and there's a ski
Yeah.
mountain scene in it. There is
I've seen it. I've seen it. It's
it's
awesome.
like Usual Suspects. I thought I know. I thought I know. I thought I. And then they
Yeah.
flip
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
six more times on itself. It has that. It's also like the most adorable love story ever,
Yeah.
and it's like a complete. They call it the Hitchcock movie Hitchcock didn't make.
I've seen it and I love it.
And
It's
I
so
think
good.
I'm pretty sure that's like on Netflix or Prime. So please watch that film. It is the
Yeah.
most fun you'll have, and I feel like it is. I was laughing so hard and on the edge of my seat, like freaking out.
Nice.
It's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick one. I'm going to mention one that you've talked about before, which is The Conversation. You turned me on to it. Classic, like also
So
another
most people
dark.
have probably seen Enemy of the State with Will
Yeah,
Smith, and
I've
Gene
seen that.
Hackman has a little role in that. That he's actually reprising his role from The Conversation. So the Enemy of the State is sort of an unofficial sequel of that movie.
Yeah.
That movie is awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, those are the kind of movies like I see. Like I like sci-fi, I like thriller, and I like comedy. Like I want to escape. I don't want to like
Yeah.
watch like dramas for me are like too much. Like life is too dramatic.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
And I'm
Um,
saying that from a person who laughs through most of life. So I just
yeah.
yeah. But still, it just feels
As a
like
person who cries through most of life, I also feel that way. I'm joking.
kind
Sort of.
of.
I cry, but when I say that, I mean also tears of joy. I just feel like I experience emotions. I keep it tamped down, but I feel like they come strong when they come. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man, I hear you. It's it's life is ridiculously. Our lives are ridiculously tiny, and the truth of that can be glorious and tragic and hilarious all at once.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. Greta's shouting out Ex Machina, which is on Netflix
Ex
right now.
machina, bro.
Ex Machina, sorry, I know that. But yeah, that movie is great. It was
It's really
fun.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
super fun. Yeah, I like that movie a lot. It's like a Randy Hunnell like sort of wet dream. Like he like would be like super, like the philosophical questions that it asks are really awesome in that movie. So that's a good one. And it's also just like Greta loves it because it's like a play. There's four people in the play in the whole movie.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Well, and also if you're an architecture and visual scene fan, it's pretty stunning. You know?
stunning, stunning. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Um, yeah. I'm gonna have to go pretty soon. But I wanted to say another Good Friday thing was this is about the most combed I've been. I took a shower today, which doesn't always happen lately, and I ran a comb through my hair, and it made me appreciate something in Chicago, which is our friends at Chicago Comb Company.
Nice.
Um, yeah, John and Ted. I pulled out my carbon fiber Chicago comb today, and I was like, I love this comb, and I also what a nice thing to comb my hair. So it's getting long, but it's actually looking like looking somewhat like a normal person. I'm feeling pretty good today.
You think they'll hook one up for me?
Yes. Yes, I think they will.
Uh,
Deborah's drinking iced coffee. We welcome coffee drinkers too. I love iced coffee.
oh, so I got this stuff. There's this stuff now. It's like getting kind of popular, but there's this stuff when me and G were last summer, not last summer, the summer before last.
Yeah.
We were in Germany and we were in Dusseldorf and we went to this incredible coffee shop. And this guy, so far as we knew at the time, is the first one to have done this on a mass level, or at least imported it to the Western world or the Northern world. He took coffee berries, the part they throw
Yeah.
away, right,
Yeah.
of the coffee, and made tea out of it. And it has caffeine, and it's like a tea, it's a coffee berry tea, essentially.
Cool.
And so I have the berry, the
Mhm.
shells, and I'm gonna bring some over to you, and we're each gonna make next week
Coffee tea.
coffee berry tea. Yeah,
Nice. I
yeah.
love it. Let's do that. That sounds great.
It's amazing stuff, and there's other people doing stuff with it. My friends at Noble, which is where Oregon Shakespeare Festival is, um,
Which you are part
in
of. Two brothers
Ashland.
up.
Yeah, we were commissioned by them, and so me and G spend a lot of time in Ashland, Oregon, and Noble Coffee Roasters. If anyone's looking for the best coffee, I think outside of New Zealand and Australia, there is nothing really stateside that rivals it quite like Noble Coffee.
Wow.
So go to Noble Coffee, and I've traveled a lot of the world and tried coffee everywhere, and this is really the I consider it the top, at least in the States for sure.
Huh.
And they're making like a drink in cans that's sparkling out of the coffee berry tea.
Ooh, that sounds
Yeah,
good.
I
Well,
know.
I'm out of my element in terms of comparing coffee, but I've been lucky enough to travel some with you and taste your coffee. So I would say like it's sort of a disappointment to me that I've already tasted the best in the world, but I didn't know that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's true. You
I've
drank.
drank, I've been in New Zealand.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
went to
yeah.
your favorite place in New Zealand,
That's true.
and I drink coffee at your house sometimes, and it's fantastic. But I didn't even know I'm getting like the,
Yeah,
the primo primo.
you are. You're welcome, pal.
Yeah, thanks. Good being your brother.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, happy Friday. Friday is movie night in my house, so we'll be watching The Lion King. Um, mm, Cora does not remember it because the last time we watched it was probably over a year ago, and that's like half her
he's
life.
almost 4.
Yeah, and so we're gonna watch it. Although she did at one point, like not even 2 years ago, know how to sing the whole song Hakuna Matata in German. But but
So there's that.
apparently she cannot remember it or the movie at all.
That's
So
gonna make Nadia sad, huh?
yeah, no, I think it'll come back to her where she
Yeah, yeah.
starts to come. Yeah, so we're gonna be
You're
Hakuna
gonna watch
Matata.
that tonight?
Yeah, I mean with the kids, and then when they go down, we'll see what happens. But maybe we'll
Uh,
watch more of Atypical.
yeah, that sounds good. Hey, and I know Mondays have historically, sorry for the shaking, Mondays have historically been when we have mom on, our mom on as a herbalist, nurse, Bach flower practitioner. But she is not going to be available on Monday. So let's have another guest, huh?
Yeah, we'll find someone else to
I
bring
have some
in.
good ideas in mind, so we'll get
She's
out there.
she's
That
bringing
means that we
back.
won't be on Instagram on Monday because we can't get 3 people on the feed live at once. So if you're on Instagram, come check us on the other platforms. We're on all of them. Look for MERS, look for Shop Small Flower, and hopefully you can catch us there. All right, Jay.
Hey, peace
Happy
out,
Friday,
Tim.
buddy.
Hey, you too, brother. All right,
All right, love you.
happy pizza and movie night. Peace.
Yes. Peace out, everybody. Thank you. Bye. Oh, if you're still on Mother's Day, call MERS, get your gift in time. Yes.
They were all still on.
Yeah, good. As I say, I forgot to shout that out. It's,
I
it's
got you.
Friday. By tomorrow, people need to do it. You can order online, pick up, call us, pick up. We're open Saturday till 5 o'clock. All right.
All right, John. Have a good one.
Peace.